welcome to 50 Movies in 50 Weeks. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. The moment the camera turns on, little Mark Anthony starts attacking the tripod. Can you hear it? Just a second. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Oh, you little psycho. You little psycho. Look at you. Look at him. He's already biting my thumb. He's already biting my thumb. And I thought Quentin was disruptive. So, I'm just going to hold him while I do this. Hello. Say hello, Mark Anthony. So the movie I watched today was called The Last Woman on Earth from the year 1960. Now, we can do this. We can do this, buddy. We can do this. I've wanted to see this movie for years, since I was a kid. I had seen, of course, The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, and I loved it. I didn't know it was based on I Am Legend at the time. I just thought it was a really cool movie. So when I saw a DVD at like a Dollar Tree or something that had The Last Man on Earth double billed with The Last Woman on Earth, and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was a sequel. I was a kid. I wanted to watch it, and for some reason, I can't remember why, I didn't buy the movie. I came back for it, and it was gone, and ever since then, I've always kind of wondered what it was. I know I live in the age of the internet, and I probably could have just watched it at any point. But when I saw it was on this disc, I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, wow, I forgot about this movie. I've been wanting to see it for a while. And this movie was not at all what I was expecting. For some reason, I thought it was going to be The Last Man on Earth, but with a woman. And it's not. It's a completely different kind of movie, honestly. It's a Roger Corman movie, and the movie opens up in Puerto Rico, I believe, and it opens up to a cockfight. I guess a form of subtle foreshadowing for the ending. But yeah, it begins with a cockfight, and it's a real cockfight. I live in the Central Valley of California. There's a lot of cockfights and dogfighting in this area. I think like everyone in this area has like a story of like stumbling in or knowing some gang members that do it. So this is something I've been kind of aware of my whole life, that this is something that's done. But I want to say up till this point, I've actually never seen a real cockfight, and now I have. It's in this movie. You see these chickens fighting to the death, and I think it's like archival footage that's spliced in with the actors that feels very Roger Corman. But it's very unpleasant to watch. I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals and children being harmed. And I did not like seeing these chickens fight. It was very disturbing for me, and it kind of put the movie off on a bad note. Moving from that, though, let's get into the plot. The plot, I feel like this movie could have been more interesting. It's an interesting premise that I feel like you could do a lot with, but due to probably the time that it was made, the budget, it's a Roger Corman flick, so it's going to be rather cheap. I don't really feel like it lived to its ultimate potential, but it's an interesting premise for a movie. He's like some sort of millionaire, but he gains his money in not a particularly illegal way, but in a shady way, and he gets yearly sued by the U.S. government. And every time he gets sued by the government, he goes to Puerto Rico and bets on cockfights. And he's there at a cockfight with his wife, who they have kind of a strained relationship. He's definitely the leader. He's got a very demanding leader mindset and attitude. And his wife doesn't really care about that kind of stuff. She wants a more passive, more peaceful lifestyle. I think she wants a more traditional lifestyle. He's just too active. He's too focused on making money and doing everything he can. And that's when they meet his lawyer, who informs him how the trial's going on in the States. And from there, they have a scuba diving expedition. They're scuba diving, and while they're underwater, something happens on land, and it's never explained in the movie, probably for the best. It's probably for the best that they never explain what exactly happened above the water. But somehow, all the oxygen, at least in Puerto Rico, has disappeared. There's no air, and everyone in Puerto Rico dies, except for our three main characters who is underwater scuba diving. When they get back to land, they say the plants brought the air back, which is technically true. Plants do make oxygen, but I doubt it would take an hour for the air to come back. But there's some interesting things where they're wearing their scuba gear on land and they're trying to light matches, but there's no air. I don't know if it was just pure carbon dioxide. It's very clearly not important. The whole idea of killing everybody is just have these three characters on land, and how they interact, and slowly a love triangle builds around these three characters. Our millionaire character, who's now, he's like, oh, this is how I made my millions, and then the lawyer character's like, what do you mean you're millions? There's no money anymore. And these two guys start clashing because, like I said, the millionaire is more of a leader character. He's like, we got to do this, this, and this. We got to survive. We got to repopulate. We got to somehow get to Canada, and he's trying to work out a plan, and he's trying to get everything together and make it work, while the lawyer has become very nihilistic. He's like, what's even the point? We're all gonna die. The human race is done. We shouldn't even try. And he starts just trying to steal the millionaire's girl, and she is receptive of his advances because she wants the simple life, and she thinks that the lawyer can offer that. And it's very clear that he doesn't. No one in this movie is a good person. And the tensions start to build and build and build, and finally there's a blowout. They start fighting, and the wife tries to sneak away with the lawyer. And I don't want to spoil the ending. I know I spoiled endings on a lot of these, but this one I think is decent enough that you should go into it and check it out. I enjoyed it for the most part. It wasn't what I was expecting. However, I don't think I'll ever watch it again due to the animal violence at the beginning of the movie. They show the chicken die, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again because of that. Or if I do, it would be on I would have to make a video, something more in depth than what I'm doing now. But I don't really feel like this movie truly deserves that kind of treatment. But yeah, I think I overall liked the movie if it wasn't for the animal violence. And your mileage will vary on that kind of thing. But until next time, I'll see you later. Hopefully Mark Anthony's calmed down for the next video. And what can I say? Please be kind and rewind.